Hi cozy besties, welcome back to my cozy corner and to a new episode of the Cozy Diaries. Last month I started this series where I'm going to be chatting about all the cozy things I've been doing lately to bring myself comfort and unravel my mind. I mostly share updates on my reading and knitting projects. This month I also have a crochet project, so I'll talk about all the books I read and the things I made, and I'll also be sharing new things I've acquired for my hobbies like new yarns or new books, and I will have chapters for what I am reading or what I am knitting so that you can jump around to what parts are most relevant to you. Don't forget to let me know what you are reading lately or what you are working on while you watch this video. I'm going to be crocheting while I talk in this video, which leads me right into what I am making this month. I'm going to be working on my temperature blanket in this video, which is super exciting. If you didn't catch it, last week's video was all about how I am starting a temperature blanket to commemorate our time living abroad here in Australia. If you are new here, I am an American and my family and I moved abroad to Australia for my husband's work, and we are going to be living here for a year or two. So this feels like a very special way to honor the time we're going to be here. In that video, I shopped for yarns, I picked out my colors, I really fun Swifty coded names, and I started working on it. But I think it's going to help keep me motivated to work on it because I'm so obsessed with these colors. And if you missed that video, make sure you go give it a watch. I think I am currently on like the 18th row, and I actually have 4 rows of nothing but rows coming up. So I thought that this would be the perfect thing to work on while we chat, but I need to remember to crochet loosely. I am so bad about tightening up my tension and my hands have been hurting for it, but also it's causing my blanket to shrink. I've noticed that my blanket went from being 60 inches long when I was down here on this first row to now being like 55 inches because I've been tightening up too much in this decrease part. So important to remember to relax. And that's the entire intention of our cozy hobbies. I officially complete the body of my August sweater. It is so exciting. It is so beautiful. It's so cozy. I have picked up the stitches for the sleeves and started working on it when I went on a little knitting date with my friend I made on here. I've talked about her before, but she found me through this channel and lives here in Canberra. So we met up for a knitting date and I worked on the sleeve. It was a lot more mindless and portable than my other knits. I'm actually doing another knitting date with someone I met on YouTube, and I'll talk more about her amazing channel later, but if you like my content, you'll definitely like hers. So make sure you stick around for the what I'm watching section of this video. But I'm so very excited to be done with the body of that sweater, and I can't wait to get the sleeves put on it. Hopefully I can finish it before the end of winter. We did just enter winter here in Canberra, Australia, and it is so cold. It's not even that cold outside to where it's intolerable. It's more that it's cold in the house. I talked about this in my recent cozy hobby vlog, but the homes here in Australia are really built to keep the cold in because it's a warmer climate, especially during, the summers, but it definitely traps the cold in, and we don't have central heating and air, so we are cold a lot of the time. An update on the colorwork beanie I mentioned last time. I have not worked on that anymore because I am working on so many projects right now. Really should sit down soon and finish it, hopefully by the next episode of the Cozy Diaries, because it's been a pretty quick knit so far. I just put it down to work on other projects, and it would be so beautiful to wear this winter. But a very exciting project I'm currently working on is the book club cardigan by Sari Nordland. I'm actually working on this for a knit along. It is my first time participating in a knit along, and it has been the best experience. This cardigan was honestly a dream of mine since the first time I saw her post it, and it was not even released yet, and I saved the post. I was just keeping an eye out for when this pattern would release because I wanted to make it so badly. It reminds me a lot of my folklore cardigan, which has the diamond cables in it. So when I saw Nestled in Knits post about this knit along, I immediately wanted to participate. And then she invited me to a group chat. I had no idea there were group chats for knit alongs, and I was so excited to be able to meet other knitters and really feel embedded in the knitting community. But even better yet, this cardigan is called the book club cardigan. So almost everyone who is in this group chat and making this cardigan loves both reading and knitting, which is such a dream. I love making friends who love my cozy hobbies, and I never knew that there were so many people who loved both. There's like over 100 people in this group chat, which is really validating for my channel and makes me feel like there really is a niche of people who care about both reading and knitting. and the hosts of this knit along actually have podcasts, so I will certainly make sure to have those linked in the description for you. And if you'd like to join the knit along, it is not too late. It's going to be running from June 1st to August 10th, so that's quite a bit of time, and we've only just gotten started. I have finished the top part of the back and just picked up stitches for the right shoulder, but there are certainly people in the group chat that are still waiting for their yarns to come in, so it's not too late to join if you are interested, and I'll have the Instagram post linked down in the description as well. But that cardigan project is quite involved, and it's so fun to follow a chart and do beautiful cable work. I'm so proud of how it's coming along, but that makes it extra nice to have a project like this that is so mindless that I can just stitch away while I talk and not have to think that much about. But another thing I wanted to mention was my yarn stash. I really want to make an entire video soon talking through my yarn stash and showing you everything I brought and also the things I've bought since getting here. So let me know if that is something that you'd like to see. My stash since we got here was very manageable. I mostly only brought yarns with me that were for a project that was already in the works, and honestly it was really tough to fit those in my suitcase as it is, so I didn't have room to bring my stash yarn that is now in storage back in the States. This temperature blanket added to it significantly. I purchased 40 skeins for this blanket because you don't really know how much you're going to use of each color, so any color that wasn't on the very ends of the spectrum I purchased 4 skeins of, and then the 2 colors on the end I purchased 2 skeins of. Besides the yarns for the temperature blanket, some of my recent yarn acquisitions, I went to the Canberra Wool Expo with my friend that I mentioned, and we both bought some sock yarn sets, and I will put the name of the business on the screen as well as show you the squishy, beautiful sock yarn. It is literally my entire brand and aesthetic to look at a ton of beautiful colorways and then buy the most neutral, natural toned. I know I'm working on like a rainbow themed blanket, but even this is quite muted and dusty tones. And that is really what I like to lean towards when it comes to my knitting, but also just my aesthetic. I did also purchase a cardigan's quantity of this beautiful mohair yarn. And I think my plan is to make the Darling cardigan by Kutova Kika with it, but that may change. But I'm definitely going to make a cardigan with it. I love a good cardigan. What I really like about my stash right now is that I have intentions or projects already in the works for every yarn I have. So even though it has become a lot of yarn recently, I don't feel overwhelmed by it like I did in the States because I only had like single skeins of colors, so that wasn't very inspiring for the kinds of projects I like to make. Another very exciting new acquisition is my new purse / project bag from Teddy Blake. I want to say thank you so much to Teddy Blake for gifting me this beautiful purse. They sent me the Lola Palmetto 15-inch handbag in the color beige. It fits my current cardigan knitting project so perfectly, along with my other essentials like my Kindle, wallet, headphones. It can even fit my laptop. It's honestly the nicest purse I've ever had. It's made with high quality, real Italian leather, which is more sustainable and long lasting. And it also means I'll be able to carry this beautiful purse around for ages. If you'd like to check out more of their beautiful purses and find your dream designer bag, I will have them linked down in the description. And I want to say thank you again to Teddy Blake for gifting me this beautiful purse. Speaking of my Kindle, let's talk about my recent reads. So I finished my reread of Heir of Fire on audiobook. I was listening to that on audio while finishing up the August sweater body in my recent cozy hobby vlog. But that reread honestly just solidified for me why not only is this series such a favorite of mine, but also why that book is my favorite in the series. I think that Selena's transformation in that book, specifically redefining what strength is to her, really speaks to me so deeply. And also I love getting to meet new characters, mostly Rowan and Manon, and it's just such a favorite comfort book. And I also finished reading The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. This was not a reread, but it felt like it because it is a new series in the same world as A Darker Shade of Magic following some of the same characters, and it is following them 7 years later after some events that transpired in the first series. But it also introduces some new characters and some new perspectives. They have very unique powers, and I just fell in love with them from page 1. So I really enjoyed that read. In that same vlog, I also did a bit of a book haul, so I won't talk about all of them in this video. I will have that linked in the description, but I will talk about my current read. I am currently reading The Time Traveler's Wife. I started this book when I still had like 50 pages left of The Fragile Threads of Power, and I was so hooked that it took me like so much longer to finish that last 50 pages than it should have, because I kept choosing to pick up The Time Traveler's Wife. I am absolutely flying through it. I haven't read a physical book in a really long time because I only brought my Kindle with me when we moved abroad, and I haven't gone to the library yet here. So it has been such a different experience reading this. It's beautiful to read a physical book. It's such a different experience. I do struggle with it because I have a hard time with my eyes, especially if I'm trying to read like not directly beside a light. But I did also get it from my library on ebooks so that I could read sometimes at night in the bed when my son's asleep. I am currently on page 345 of 513. So I am probably 70% through this, and this story is just incredible. It follows Henry, who involuntarily time travels. He has a genetic disorder where he can't stay in a chronological, like linear timeline for his life. So he actually goes back in time and he meets people in his family and also his wife before she is his wife. She is waiting for him for so long. I think this book just tugs on my heartstrings in all the best ways. As I talked about in my favorite books of all time video, I just really love the trope of books that mess with time. I think the concept of time travel and love throughout the span of time just really strikes a chord with me. So I'm really enjoying this book, and I look forward to fully forming my thoughts about it and sharing my full review. Editing Morgan here to add that I finished this book tonight and it honestly destroyed me. But in the best way. It's truly a tragic love story. Nearly every moment of this story is just devastating. The emotions and love they have for each other is so raw and real, and you can feel the desire they have to be together, but he can't control that he keeps leaving her, and she just keeps waiting on him, and everything always happens at the worst times. It's just such a heart-wrenching story, but I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's like a 4.5 stars for me. It felt really close to a 5-star read. I absolutely devoured it and enjoyed it so much. I really liked the pacing of the plot. I really liked the foreshadowing throughout it, but I think some of the story choices, especially with when the wife was young and he was meeting her as an older man, I do think that that could have been handled a little more delicately. But again, these individuals are so flawed, and I think that that's one of the best parts of the story. So I do think I understand why the author made some of the decisions she did. But overall, I think it was a very wonderful read, and I would recommend you picking this up if you are interested in time travel and faded romances and very original concepts for a story. Now let's talk about what I have been watching. I've been watching a lot of Haley's Face here on YouTube. I will have her link down below. I actually found her because she shouted out my YouTube channel in one of her knitting podcast episodes. In her knitting podcast, she often talks about what she has been reading and watching, and I was one of her recommendations, which is such an honor, honestly. So I started watching her vlogs after that, and they are the most cozy vibes. So if you like my channel, you will definitely like hers. And excitingly enough, she lives here in Australia, but she actually lives in Melbourne, and she is actually coming to Canberra this weekend. So I'm gonna get to go on a coffee date and knit with her. It's been so nice that my YouTube channel has helped me meet new people in the knitting space and also the book space who have shared common interests and hobbies with me. Another person I watch a whole lot of is Kayla Kempers, who is a writer here on YouTube, and she is honestly so inspiring, whether you are a writer or not. She talks very openly and authentically about a lot of different topics, including mental health and mindset, and I just find her really inspiring. Every time I see a new video from her in my feed, I just want to grab a cup of tea and sit down and feel like I'm hanging out with a friend, which are honestly the best types of channels to watch. Shows I've been watching, I actually started watching Bridgerton. I had to join the train and see what all the hype was about because everybody was talking about the new season coming out, and multiple people have told me that I would like it. I guess you could say I rewatched the first season. I just finished the first season last night, so I'm going to be starting the second season, which I haven't watched at all yet. I definitely didn't remember that it was like so smutty. It's honestly strange to see just like open door romance on TV, but also I really love their chemistry. I think the fake dating trope is so fun. I really love the tension between them, and the Duke is so cute. My husband and I have been watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia lately, which is something he grew up watching, but I never really watched. It's honestly unhinged. It's probably problematic, but we have a good time watching it. Cozy things that have been bringing me comfort lately are really these knit dates. I think that going and meeting people in real life has changed everything for me. Like, I didn't have any friends that have the same hobbies as me that I could meet with in real life. I think that sharing my cozy hobbies and in the online space has helped me not only find friends online, but also in person since being here, and that has been so good for me. It's just so validating to meet other people who love the same things as you, whether it's online or in real life, and just bond over that. And the very last thing in lieu of exciting Cozy Diaries news is that I am very, very close to being able to monetize my channel on here, which means I'll be able to keep bringing Cozy Diaries and cozy videos to you for a very long time. And because of this very exciting news, I was able to order a new camera today. In the videos to come, my quality is going to get even better, which will mean even higher quality cozy content for you. So I just want to thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel so that I can continue to grow, and I hope you will stick around and continue joining me in my cozy corner and unraveling with me. My hope with this video series is that it inspires you to do something cozy that brings you comfort. So let me know down below what cozy thing you're going to be doing for yourself this week. Let me know what you're going to be reading or working on, or what show you're going to be watching, or whatever it is you do that helps you unravel. I want to thank you so much for getting cozy and unraveling with me. If you enjoyed the cozy vibes of this video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future updates. For even more cozy content, you can be my friend on Instagram or stick around and watch this video. Don't forget to do something this week that helps you unravel, and I am wishing you a very cozy week.